Public and private spaces can be categorized within the context of urban planning and city organization. Public spaces refer to open areas that are freely accessible and usable by the public, while private spaces represent areas with limited access and use. Erzincan's open public spaces are essential for the community's well-being and offer places to connect the residents with the nature and enjoy the city. Public spaces in Erzincan, like many other cities, can be categorized as follows: parks and green areas, squares and town centers, pedestrian walkways, public buildings, public transportation stops. Also private spaces, residential areas, commercial properties, industrial areas, educational institutions. It's important to note that the classification of public and private spaces can vary, and some areas may have a mixed-use nature, allowing for both public and private activities. Squares and town centers are one of the most important public open spaces in a city. These squares in Erzincan are Erzincan Cumhuriyet Square, Erzincan Atatürk Square, and Erzincan University Campus Square. These squares also connect the pedestrian walkways. These squares are not only central meeting points, but may also be surrounded by shops, restaurants, and cultural institutions, contributing to the overall vibrancy and atmosphere of Erzincan. Also, green spaces are very important for public use. We have three different categorized green spaces. Public green spaces are open areas that are freely accessible and available for use by general public. Semi-public green spaces act as a transition zone between public and private areas. And private green spaces are owned by individuals, institutions, or businesses. These areas have limited access and use and are typically managed by the owners. The most important public green spaces in Erzincan are Erzincan City Park, one of the most significant public spaces in the city; Erzincan Esentepe Park, located within the city. This public park provides a place for residents to enjoy the outdoor. Erzincan Fenerbahçe Park, which is surrounded by trees, and this park is also very close to our project area; and Erzincan Atatürk Park. This park is at the center of the city and has connection with the main roads and central parts of Erzincan.
First of all, if we start to talk about educational places, we can see the numbers here for every level of school. Yes, and it includes all public schools and private schools. And we can decide which stage of education is priority for the next projects. We can see the student per classroom. So we can decide how many elementary schools or middle schools or high schools is gonna be built. If we take a look at cultural centers and meeting points in Erzincan, like museums, clock towers, and other cultural aspects, there are few places to meet and perform the art pieces. We can talk about two centers by municipality: Erzincan Belediyesi Kültür Evi, Erzincan Belediyesi Kültür Sosyal İşler Müdürlüğü ve Kültür Sanat Merkezi. There should be more places that focus on different topics and contribute state's daily life more than the events is gonna be in that cultural centers. If we have a look on cultural center examples, I can talk about Oslo Opera House. It's a building in an old port area, and it's a part of a transformation project in Oslo. And I think we can take as an example for Erzincan Old Railway Station and what is gonna be in there. And also this place is a meeting point for Oslo people, not only for the events that take place in opera house, but in their daily life. And its special thing is, I think, its relation with topography and the sea, and that relation gain gives the social aspects to this building. Other example for Erzincan, I think it's Yedikule Bostanları. Those historical city gardens can be a good example for Erzincan's new city areas. Those garden systems could be adapted and improved on buildings with different functions: housing, education, cultural centers. And I think those projections should be everywhere. And it will support food production for area and the all of the city. And I think we gonna create a real bond and strand the bond between urban and rural life and space.
Erzincan has a continental climate that is milder than other provinces in the region, except for Elazığ and Malatya. The annual average temperature is 16.6 degrees Celsius, and the temperature varies according to the altitude and topography of the area. Erzincan has a high potential for solar energy as it has a longer and warmer summer season than the surrounding provinces. Solar energy systems should be encouraged in every part of the province. The dominant wind direction in Erzincan is northwest, which is influenced by the pressure differences and the frontal movements in the west sector of Anatolia. The wind direction affects the building construction and facility establishment. Wind energy plants can be installed to harness wind energy. The soil and groundwater temperatures in Erzincan are suitable for groundwater source heat pump systems, which are more efficient than soil source heat pump or solar-supported soil source heat pump systems for space or greenhouse heating, as the groundwater temperature is constant at 14 to 15 degrees Celsius. The precipitation amount in Erzincan is low compared to other parts of eastern Anatolia as it is surrounded by high mountains.
Cultural and social pattern. The evolution of Erzincan's culture generally follows a parallel line with the development of Eastern Anatolian culture. However, it also has its own unique local characteristics. The first settlements in the region date back to the early Bronze Age. In the subsequent periods, Erzincan's territory frequently changed hands between different powers, but continuity was established after the arrival of the Turks. During this period, due to the diversity of ethnic and religious elements, different cultures continued to coexist. In the early years of the Republic, Erzincan had a small population and its economy was based on agriculture and livestock. The majority of minorities left the region, and the void created in the field of handcrafts was filled by immigrants and the local population. In the late years, urbanization driven by socio-economic development led to a certain disconnect with tradition. Periodic earthquakes, added to these changes, prompted many of the population to move to larger cities. Despite this, the people of Erzincan have not forgotten their roots and have maintained their connections with the region. In parallel with social change, traditional clothing is being replaced by contemporary clothing. However, traditional clothing can still be found in rural areas today, albeit to a limited extent. In villages, women wear layered lined intaris, that extend down to the ankles. And most of these clothes are made of the local leather by of the animals. For men, black or dark brown loose pants with ample cuffs, collarless and ornate edged hunting vests are common clothing choices. The fabrics used are velvet, cotton, fabric, and entirely woolen local fabrics. Carpet weaving. Carpet weaving was once a globally renowned craft in Kemaliyeh, but Kemaliyeh carpets are no longer produced. Some small pieces are woven by amateurs on a few hand looms in the district and at the vocational school in the town. And also in Üzümlü, the art of carpet weaving is supported by the Üzümlü Public Education Center and Üzümlü Municipality. Space has been allocated in the municipal service building and carpet weaving courses restarted on April 30 in 2005. Folk dances. Bar, which symbolizes heroism, bravery, composure, and patience, is the most important folk dance in Erzincan. In addition to bar, there are often folk dances performed in Erzincan, including çifteleli, çiftetelli, kaşık oyunları, horon, halay, and tek oyunlar. These dances can be categorized based on their forms, such as uç ayak, dört ayak, iki ayak, ağır bar, köçeri, sıklama, sarhoşban, and so on. The Elek Oyunu is a comedy dance, and the Arap Oyunu, which is played during the New Year festival, are also part of the traditional dance repertoire in Erzincan. Public figures in Erzincan are represented by many people, and the most important people are the ashiks. Ashik is a word means a folk poet and musician, and one of these people is Ashik Akbaba and Ashik Davut Suleri and Ashik Beyhani. All those three make folk music, Turkish folk music tradition, and they create poems talking about love, nature, and daily life. Local architecture. The architectural heritage of Erzincan includes a mix of styles influenced by various historical periods and cultures that have shaped the city. Notable examples of this heritage include historical mosques, bridges, and caravansarais. One of these examples is the Ulu Mosque and Terzi Baba Tomb and the Mama Hatun Karvansaray. The Erzincan Ulu Mosque or Merkez Mosque. It is located in Refahiye district of Erzincan. It was built in the second half of the 19th century, and it can be deduced that its architects and craftsmen who built the mosque were influenced by church architecture as evidenced in the entrance door and pointed arch windows. The mosque is situated in a spacious courtyard, and within the mosque's graveyard we can also find the Bahattin Pasha Martyrs Cemetery. Another building is Terzi Baba Türbesi. Terzi Baba, who is regarded as a sacred spiritual figure, has a shrine that is visited by the public of Erzincan. And another example is Mama Hatun Karvansaray, which is located in the rural areas of Erzincan city.
Energy production and waste management, hydroelectric power. Turkey's push for renewable energy, especially in hydroelectric power, is optimized by the Atatürk Dam in the eastern Anatolian region. With a massive capacity and contributing to 12% of Turkey's hydroelectric output, this dam underscores the nation's commitment to sustainable energy. Additionally, its potential irrigation capabilities, covering plains like Şanlıurfa and Mardin, can significantly boost the region's agriculture. Thus, the Atatürk Dam stands as both an energy and economic cornerstone for Turkey. In this chart, it displays the hydroelectric energy facilities in the Erzincan region. Wind energy. While the western regions of Turkey are predominantly recognized for their established wind farms, the eastern Anatolian area possesses the untapped potential for wind energy. An exemplar of Turkey's wind energy capacity is the Osmaniye Gökçedağ centrales, This wind farm with its production can cater to the comprehensive electrical energy requirements of nearly 100,000 individuals across diverse sectors. Focusing on domestic consumption, its production can power up more than 100,000 households. This showcases the impactful role such facilities can play in addressing the nation's energy demands. Solar energy. Turkey's vast geographical expanse presents diverse opportunities for harnessing renewable energy, particularly solar energy. Erzincan, characterized by its advantageous geographical positioning and abundant sunny days, emerged as a promising hub for solar energy. As an example, Konya Kalyon Karapınar project is poised to cater to the annual electricity requirements of 2 million residents, marking a substantial stride in Turkey's sustainable energy journey. Further emphasizing its environmental impact, the project forecasts a reduction of 2 million tons of carbon emission.
The Erzincan municipality's 219 project underscores its progressive approach to sustainability. Utilizing a decades-old garbage storage area, the municipality captures methane from waste and converts it into electricity. This initiative not only tackles waste management but also enriches Erzincan's renewable energy mix, setting a precedent for green urban solutions. As a result, sustainable energy production is currently active in Erzincan, but there is a lack of projects and low level of individual responsibility. When we look at the rate of official institutions receiving zero waste certificates, we can see that these social areas can be used more efficiently and that there is a potential in this kind of complexes.
Erzincan, a province in Turkey, has a rich agricultural history. Prior to the establishment of the Republic of Turkey in 1923, it was primarily an agricultural province, growing crops like wheat, barley, millet, beans, and various fruits. The farming practices varied based on the region's elevation and climate. The province is known for its two major plains, the Erzincan and Tarcan plains, which are blessed with fertile soil and abundant water resources. The irrigation network in the Erzincan plain was built in the 1950s, significantly increasing the income and productivity of farmers. By 1990, there were 86,962 people engaged in agriculture in the province. The total land area of 1,190,300 hectares was divided into 17% agricultural land, 38% pasture and meadow, 9% forested and wooded area, and 36% non-agricultural land. In 2007, Erzincan had 123,959 hectares for field crops. Sugar beets and dry beans were significant nationally. Fruit farming covered 3,409 hectares. Vegetable cultivation covered 3,203 hectares, and vineyards covered 864 hectares. Despite facing challenges such as diseases affecting crops and price fluctuations, Erzincan also explored opportunities to improve agriculture like nursery farming for vegetable production and promotion of alternative crops.
Public spaces and meeting points. Erzincan's public spaces, including the central meeting points and squares, play a crucial role in the city's vibrancy and atmosphere. When planning the train station project, it's essential to consider integrating with existing public spaces. This could make the train station not just a transportation hub, but also a central meeting point for community. Mixed-use nature. As mentioned, some areas in Erzincan have a mixed-use nature, allowing for both public and private activities. The train station project should be designed to accommodate various functions, such as shops, restaurants, and cultural institutions, contributing to overall well-being and vitality of the city center. Accessibility and transportation. Given Erzincan's geographic location and the significance of gorges for transportation, the train station project should take into account easy access to and form these essential transportation routes. This will enhance the connectivity of Erzincan with other regions and improve transportation options for both residents and visitors. Cultural heritage and local characteristics. Erzincan has a rich cultural heritage with unique local characteristics. The design of the train station should reflect and celebrate this cultural diversity, possibly incorporating elements of local architecture and art. This can create a sense of identity and pride among the local population. Child-friendly facilities. Considering the child population in the region, it will be beneficial to include child-friendly facilities within the train station or its vicinity. Kindergartens, parks, and social areas can enhance the quality of life for families in Erzincan and contribute to well-being of the city. Energy and water resources. Erzincan's energy production and water resources are notable. The train station project could explore ways to make use of renewable energy sources and ensure the sustainable water management, aligning with environmental and economic sustainability goals. Community engagement. Lastly, involving the local community and gathering their input on the train station project is crucial. This will ensure that the project meets the needs and expectations of the residents and fosters a sense of ownership and pride in their city's development. In summary, the Erzincan train station project should not merely focus on transportation infrastructure but should be integrated to city's fabric, taking into its cultural heritage, unique characteristics, and the well-being of its residents. It should be a symbol of progress while preserving the city's roots and maintaining connections with the region.